Coming up on Grady Newsource, Hurricane Helene is expected to make landfall tomorrow evening and impact Georgia as a tropical storm. Find out how you can prepare to stay safe. Look at how this 1900s gas station offers new opportunities for local entrepreneurs to gain exposure. Finally, Alabama and Georgia face each other on Saturday, but there is another way to cheer them on. Find out how you can support them from afar. Stay tuned for more to come on Grady Newsource.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College of the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening and welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Lizzie Rice. Tonight we start with bringing you updates on Hurricane Helene and how to start preparing. Grady Newsource reporter Jackson Rowland joins us live now to give us a look. Hey there, Jackson.
Thank you, Lizzie. And as you may be able to see behind me, the rainfall is starting to pick up and get more and more severe as we get closer to nighttime and as we approach this weekend storm in Hurricane Helene. You may be able to tell behind me things aren't too bad yet. Gray, cloudy skies. Things are starting to look gloomy, but they won't get bad until we reach landfall of Hurricane Helene tomorrow night. Now, I was able to spend the day with climatologist and meteorologist, both John and Pam Knox, who were able to give us an expert insight on what we can expect from the hurricane this weekend.
This weekend will bring more than just bad weather. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp declared a state of emergency yesterday and is preparing the state for the impact of Hurricane Helene as soon as tomorrow night.
Hurricane Helene is a storm that's forming in the northwest Caribbean that's going to move into the eastern Gulf of Mexico and hit the Florida Panhandle probably sometime Thursday night. And it will then head rapidly into the state of Georgia and affect us Thursday night into Friday.
Currently classified as a Category 1, Helene could progress to be even worse.
Helene is expected to become a major hurricane by tomorrow before it makes landfall, which means that the wind speed is going to ramp up and up. There's really not much to stop it at this point.
The storm is moving over perfect conditions for it to get stronger rapidly.
With the severity of the storm, Georgia residents should expect and prepare for lasting effects.
There's definitely a high chance of power outages throughout North Georgia, as well as the risk of flash flooding and the risk to life that comes with that.
And I can see that there may be places where they don't get power back for a week or two.
This means potentially losing power lines and access to gas stations. The state of Georgia advises to stock up on water and make sure devices are charged. But the main goal is to stay safe.
This is a major situation that requires safety first.
And make sure to stay tuned to the newscast as I'll be back later to give you both the 5-day forecast and tips on how you can be prepared and stay safe during Hurricane Helene. Lizzie?
Thank you, Jackson, for that expert's eye on the hurricane. Now we turn to preparations for the upcoming presidential election. Grady Newsource reporter I have here, Tori Newman, sat in on Jackson County's logic and accuracy testing today. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I'm so excited to learn more about what you found out.
Thanks, Lizzie. I was one of 3 people who observed 9 workers testing Jackson County's ballot marking devices, printers, and scanners. The office has 4 precincts to go through Central, North, West, and South Jackson. I witnessed them test 24 ballot marking devices, 24 printers, and 2 scanners from North Jackson.
That's really detailed. What were they looking for when they were testing?
To put it simply, they were testing the functionality of the machines and preparing them for the election. Here's what Elections Director Jennifer Logan said after they finished the test. There were 4 machines that we came across that did not have the correct version, so they hadn't been updated. There were 3 or 4 other machines that during the last use of those machines, the poll officials didn't hit the button to close the polls on them.
Awesome. So what's next for the Jackson County Elections Office?
The Elections Office is set to run the rest of its logic and accuracy tests on the remaining precincts tomorrow, which will also be open to the public. After that, the office will ship its equipment to every precinct with a tractor trailer. Logan told me 1 precinct is a complete trailer, so it takes us 3 loads because 1 polling place is here. So it takes us 3 loads to get everything delivered and then to pick it all back up.
Thank you, Tori. That's great for us to know. With early voting starting here in just 20 days, wow, election season is really picking up. Sticking in Jackson County, parents are using the power of Facebook to bring attention to potential increased safety measures in schools. Grady Newsource reporter Ryan Lynch has the story.
if anything's going to happen on my watch, and that's just kind of how I am as a mama bear.
Miranda Gill is a go-getter. When tragedy struck Appalachia High School 3 weeks ago, Gill took it upon herself to rally other concerned parents through the Facebook group Jackson County Moms and Dads on a Mission, which has gained over 600 members in 2 weeks. The parents have proposed a multitude of ideas to increase school safety. Some of these include metal detectors, clear backpacks, mandatory wearing of school IDs, a student resource officer in every school, and automatic locking doors. There are some things Gill stresses over others. According to the mom, she says there isn't always adequate punishment for threats that are made. However, in a letter sent out to all parents, Superintendent of Jackson County Schools, Dr. Philip Brown, emphasized the safety measures already in place and reminded people of the 2 students charged for making threats. Sarah McCollum from the Mary Frances Early College of Education says the changes parents want to sow may not automatically solve the problem.
When we're approaching school safety, we need to look at it holistically, not just, well, if we add a metal detector, that's going to solve the problem. And because that's just, unfortunately not, we haven't seen that in the evidence and research.
For now, parents like Miranda Gill will continue to fight for their children.
Our children are our most precious gift. Why are we not guarding our children like we're guarding our money?
For Grady Newsource, I'm Ryan Lynch.
In a world of digital, one local store is choosing to focus on hands-on creativity, encouraging children to put down their devices and pick up their toys. Grady Newsource reporter Keisha Chestnut tells us how businesses are embracing creativity beyond the digital world.
The digital age is no stranger to children, but many parents are concerned. Pew Research Center reports 71% of parents believe the widespread use of smartphones by young children might potentially result in more harm than benefits. However, one local business is taking a different approach, encouraging families to put down their devices and promote creativity.
And I think that creativity connects kids to materials and provides them with spatial intelligence.
Batch feels that education has morphed into screens, like computers and technology.
On one hand, it's allowed for a lot of opportunity in learning. It also has removed this just tangible, humanizing education that I think art can provide.
One teacher and parent voiced how screens and toys are 2 different worlds, and how a screen is designed for distraction and not paying attention to what is in front of you.
I know tactile is like huge in children's development, and so for them to be able to touch and see and play and verbalize, you will never ever get that with a screen.
By removing the technology, Elmer values creating spaces for children to play freely and finds it important for children's development.
So creating that environment for both the parent and child to bond through play and show them how to be imaginative and creative.
With one block at a time, embracing creativity beyond the digital world. Keisha Chestnut, Grady Newsource.
The nonprofit Equal Education for Athens hosted a pickleball tournament this past weekend. Grady Newsource reporter Savannah Hernandez has more on how they're raising funds and awareness for education equality.
Dozens of local athletes hit the courts, not just for their love of pickleball, but to help make a difference in Athens. Nonprofit Equal Education for Athens hosted a pickleball tournament with snacks, drinks, and even cornhole for attendees to enjoy. All of the proceeds go towards the nonprofit's operations aimed to help close the learning gap in Athens.
We've begun to really work with the teachers at the schools, and that helps a lot because they see firsthand how needed and how much these kids need something like this, because there are so many disparities in Athens.
Though Athens is home to the University of Georgia, local schools continue to struggle with educational disparities. The end of grade 2022-2023 test showed Athens Clark County students were 12% less proficient in reading and 9% less proficient in math compared to statewide averages.
You see how many people we've impacted, it just has you feel it in your heart, and it makes you excited to be a part of something so big.
Participant and UGA student Gabby O'Neill says education in Athens goes far beyond the university's campus.
We're supporting the education for our local Clark County, and I think a lot of people don't realize we're kind of here for college, but it's important to support our local community here too.
Bunnell says EEA offers free tutoring services so their support can be accessible to all. With this, they hope to help local students build a strong foundation for their future.
I think it is so important to make education equitable for all of these people, so every single child in this state, in this country, in this world has a chance at becoming what they dream of becoming.
Savannah Hernandez, Grady Newsource.
Coming up after the break, we'll continue looking at education at the next level and how it can benefit students.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
You know, a lot of people say, when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. And I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Georgia legislators passed a bill back in March which places restrictions on hemp. The bill takes effect next week. Grady Newsource reporter Christian Andrade tells us how it will impact local businesses here in Athens.
It's grown in California, Colorado, Georgia, Canada, Thailand. You know, it doesn't matter. It's all got a little bit of THCA in it, so it's all going to be affected, unfortunately.
The full effects of Senate Bill 494 will be felt next Tuesday. Clay Whitehead, a bud tender at Franny's Pharmacy in Athens, says all of his smokable flower contains THCA, forcing him to take all of it off the shelves.
Even if it's 1%, it doesn't really get you high. It's just going to, be taken away, which kind of sucks.
Dr. David Bradford researches the impact of cannabis policies on health behaviors and outcomes.
We're constantly finding new ways that cannabis could be used medically.
Cannabis under 0.3% THC is considered hemp. Anything greater is considered marijuana.
It's not a risk-free product. And just like we don't want children to access alcohol or tobacco, we don't want children to access cannabis.
The new law forces stores to have a retail consumable hemp establishment license in order to sell edibles. So that way kids can't accidentally eat the wrong cookie. And neither can adults.
But at the same time, it's just restricting adults as well.
Adults like Amber Barnhart.
I had the stroke in December, and so I'm just trying to find things to help.
Barnhart says she just started using hemp to deal with symptoms from her stroke.
It helps calm me.
Barnhart shops at Classic City Hemp, a store that will be shutting down and moving to North Carolina this weekend, right before the new laws hit.
We just tried to stock up a little, and I guess we could always go to Asheville and get it.
Christian Andrade, Grady Newsource.
76 Sycamore Street in downtown Jefferson has housed many different businesses since it was built in 1900. But now it's found a new purpose as the Jefferson Farmers and Markers Market. Grady Newsource reporter Melanie Levy has more.
Each Tuesday since June, this empty building has transformed into a wide array of fresh foods and homemade goods, ranging anywhere from jellies and fruit preserves to honey-based soap, vibrant vegetables, and even decorative wreaths. The sources of these handcrafted and homemade items? Small, local entrepreneurs like Tina Loth, who immigrated from Germany.
And I'm not the biggest fan of American bread, so I have been baking my own bread since I got here 31 years ago.
The Jefferson Farmers and Makers Market has allowed for the community's small business owners to earn a living, with many vendors acquiring a loyal weekly customer base. Studies show that entrepreneurs are a crucial component of the United States' economy. According to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, small businesses employ nearly half of the American workforce and have accounted for trillions of dollars of economic activity since the late 1990s.
We have regular customers that come every week. We thoroughly enjoy seeing everybody, and we enjoy the fellowship.
Although the market will close for the winter, vendors and customers look forward to its reopening in the spring. In Jefferson, Melanie Levy, Grady Newsource.
The Madison County Agricultural Fair is going on now through Saturday. Grady Newsource reporter Sydney Rainwater shows us how your tickets go farther than just the fairgrounds.
There are fairgrounds all over the U.S. with affordable tickets, exhibits, and prizes, just like at the Madison County Agricultural Fair. But fairgoers may not know that profits from this fair go to a global philanthropy. The Lions Club is a civic service organization whose members engage in projects in their communities and contribute to the club's international causes.
All my life I've liked to help other people, and it's been one of the things I've enjoyed.
One of those causes is Vision. The Lions Club International Foundation is a co-founder of Sight for Kids, a school-based eye health services program for low-income schools around the world. Sight for Kids looks out specifically for myopia, or nearsightedness. The World Health Organization reports that an estimated 312 million people under the age of 19 globally are myopic. Sight for Kids has screened over 50 million students worldwide. The Comer Lions Club supports this initiative through funds raised at the fair and by collecting eyeglasses to donate to children in need. Whether they know about the Lions or not, the Madison County community shows up for the fair.
Glasses, things like that.
I did not know that. I just learned something.
It wouldn't be an agricultural fair without some livestock. Hog shows were last night, and the goat and lamb shows kick off tonight. For Grady Newsource, this is Sydney Rainwater.
Coming up after the break, we're going to give you tips on what you need to know as we head into the weekend with Hurricane Helene and how events like the Ag Fair could be affected.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please. I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call
What you'll need to know for Hurricane Helene coming up this
weekend. As you probably noticed today, weather wasn't all that bad. It felt pretty nice. The highs did get up in the 80s with a low of only 70. However, now we can even hear that rain starting to fall down in the studio as Hurricane Helene starts to take its effect here in the Athens area. Now tomorrow and Friday won't be a whole lot of difference in the high and low, right between mid-70s and upper 60s. It'll be thunderstorms mostly all day as we begin to see the effects of the hurricane. Now coming up this weekend, we're hoping that hurricane's going to blow out quickly and we'll get back to some nicer weather, only partly cloudy both Saturday and Sunday, and hopefully not flooded. Now Saturday high is going to get up to 79 and Sunday 81. So still warm weather, definitely going to be humid, and we're hoping that you have power. And speaking of which, tips to prepare for Hurricane Helene, that's what I'm here to give you today, is you're going to need to know it's going to affect everybody. So make sure you stock up on water and non-perishable food. Get some emergency chargers for all your electronic devices, flashlights, fill up on gasoline. That's going to be a big one this weekend. Any important medications you're going to need, you don't want to go without those because we're not sure how long it will last. And as always, in case of an emergency, you can call 911 or the Athens-Clarke County Streets and Drainage Division for street flooding. Now make sure to stay tuned to the newscast coming up in our D blocks. Our sports reporter Nigel Whittington is going to give you everything you need to know that happened in the sports world this past week. Stay tuned on Grady Newsource.
Some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
What's up, Grady Newsource viewers? I'm Nigel Whittington here with Everything Sports. Kicking things off with all things pro Georgia sports you've got to look forward to the rest of this week. Yesterday, the Atlanta Braves crushed the New York Mets 5-1, and they're gearing up for round 2 of the 3-game series tonight, happening at 7:20. But there's a pretty big elephant in the room named Hurricane Helene, which could spell a potential weather delay, meaning a doubleheader and an exciting conclusion to the MLB regular season this Friday. Rain won't affect Atlanta United, who plays indoors at Mercedes-Benz Stadium this Saturday at 7:30 as they take on Philadelphia. Five Stripes are currently 11th in the Eastern Conference with 8 wins, 9 draws, and 13 losses, so a win is desperately needed. And you're not going to have to travel far to watch the Falcons play, as the Dirty Birds will be taking on the New Orleans Saints this Sunday at home. Falcons are 1-2 on the season. They're looking to bounce back after a primetime loss against the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs they suffered last Monday. While pro sports will be in motion all week, future pros will be playing in one of the biggest matchups this Saturday. Number 2 ranked Georgia Bulldogs head to Tuscaloosa to take on the 4th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide in a top 5 showdown. Dogs are coming off a bye week and a tough 13-12 victory the week prior against Kentucky, where star offensive lineman Tate Ratledge left the game early due to injury. Meanwhile, the Tide is riding high after a 42-10 win at Wisconsin. But even with a large margin of victory for the Tide, Georgia's defense should be the first real test for Alabama, as the Dogs haven't allowed a single touchdown all season. No matter who wins, people around the nation are in for an exciting game as the two teams face off at 7:30 at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. While Georgia's hoping to beat Bama on the field, Grady Newsource reporter Colin Miller has a way students can partake in the rivalry here in Athens, coming up after the break.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
With Georgia football set to square off against Alabama and Tuscaloosa this weekend, Grady Newsource reporter Colin Miller has more on what students can do to get involved in the rivalry all the way here in Athens.
Many students won't get the chance to support Georgia football this weekend when they travel to face Alabama. But there's another way that students can help the Bulldogs beat the Crimson Tide this week. The Student Alumni Council is hosting their 5th annual Beat Week, a fundraising challenge that puts UGA against another college in the week leading up to their matchup. This year, they're taking on Alabama. The first question a student may ask is, where is my money going? Especially since the university already made over $2.2 billion in revenue last year, according to their annual report. Andrew Flaherty, who helps bridge the gap with students and alumni, assures that donors can choose where their money goes.
The great thing about student donations is you're making a gift directly to an organization, and the student really has the option to make a gift like $5 to impact something which could buy students supplies for school or something like that.
UGA is offering over 100 different funds to donate to. Seniors can even use their donation to fund their senior signature on campus.
It doesn't all go back to athletics. It doesn't all go back to the bigger things that make the news.
The school will be tabling and holding events on campus throughout the week for students to get involved, including a tailgate event on Thursday.
I mean, what's more fun than football season, but also going up against somebody like Alabama is pretty exciting.
Colin Miller, Grady Newsource.
That's all for us tonight. Thanks for joining. I'm Lizzie Rice. Have a great night and a safe rest of the week.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I
I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew a girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. And I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Just as I thought we couldn't get better, we did get better. It was a very interesting show. We pulled off a live shot from outside with the anchor returning inside to come back and continue to report from the studio. Jackson, very talented. You ad-libbed a lot because you didn't have a prompter up there and you didn't have, your script wasn't written out. And you did a great job. You're very talented. I hope you stay in this profession because you've got the voice and everything. And that ad-libbing was so professional. Your mic was not on when you were doing the weather, but we managed to pick. We boosted Nigel's mic and we picked up your voice on that one, your audio, but it wasn't like the real thing. But you really, it added so much to have you live right off the top. And just to show us that it was beginning to rain, I thought it was a great start of the show. Our producer, amazing also, first time producing. Our anchor, Lizzie, yes. She came so prepared and organized, and she had a vision, and really, really impressive. And I saw her helping people, and if you want to be a producer, you've got it. You've got it. Yeah. Lizzie, a very strong performance. I can't believe it was your first one. Yeah, very calm and confident, collected. There's one thing with the Q&A, when you were asking questions, you kind of looked like you weren't, keep your eyes on Savannah instead of just like, okay, this question is going a little too long. Yeah. Tori, I'm sorry. Tori. Bless you. So that was the only thing, and sometimes people are not aware. I mean, sometimes I've been made aware of things that I do, which I'm not aware, so I'm really grateful when somebody picks up something. But both of you were very personable. There was a lot of chemistry between the two of you. Yeah, I love the Q&A. Came together very well. And yes. Yes, and I appreciate the understanding. But I thought you guys did a great job. And Nigel, again, you are also just a natural on camera. You made that 1 minute rock, and I could tell you were having a great time. And yeah, even with the lack of a lot of visuals, you know, you connected and you were animated, and really good work. Very strong packages. Yeah, very creative. Yeah, but meaning that there wasn't B-roll, that it was just graphics, and he kept the attention, and you know, the writing was very good, and it didn't feel like you were reading. So yeah, and the graphics were very creative. I do appreciate that very much. Very strong packages. I'm going to look at the show again. If I have anything that I notice that I can help you with, you will get a Slack from me with some suggestions with the best of intentions. It doesn't mean your package wasn't good. It means, you know, I just want you to be aware of something to help you in the real world. I have an announcement. A friend of mine who is a senior producer at CNN will be doing the critique on Monday, so bring your best game. Jennifer Johnson, she's a senior producer. She's going to join us from New York. She's based there on Zoom. She's going to watch the show and then do a live critique on Zoom with you guys, with an ability to ask her questions at the end. She will be here on the screen. So very excited to introduce you to her. Yeah, one thing I noticed with the open, Kira, I mean, kudos to you. I mean, the thing that you pulled off, again, it was very smooth, very professional, and I just want you to tell us how we did. Did we have packages on time, and how things worked, or what do we need to do moving forward also?
Better today. I don't know what it was on Monday, but from last Wednesday to today, I got like almost everything before 4:30. That was super helpful in making sure that this show went as well as it did. So thank you for that. Keep getting them to me before 4:30. That makes everyone's life a lot easier. But thank you. It was a lot better that way. And then those couple of things that were running late, like we had a lot more time to get them in because everything else was there. So that was a lot better. The live Q&A was super fun. I loved it. Y'all killed it. Y'all didn't scoot over enough, so the shot was a little wonky. We fixed it during your graphic, so by the end it looked right, but the first time it went up, you were just
they were like on
off-center.
off-center, yeah.
It's not the end of the world. You were just off-center. But we fixed that during your graphic, and then weather audio, your mic was like brushing up against your, not in the live shot, in the in-studio part. Your mic was brushing up against your jacket, which is why like it crackled when you first went on. But as Professor V said, we just filled your mic and put on nightfuls in it. Balanced everything out.
Speaking of crackling on the mic, the show tease also had crackling.
Also was popping.
I don't know if it's something with the mic, or I noticed that.
Yeah, I would have to go back and see what we did. I would assume that it was something with the mic. Probably the same issue, honestly, like brushing against your jacket or your hair or something like that. But I would have to go back and look at it. But it was also in the show open.
Yeah, it happened during the recording.
Most likely.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't on live air. It was on the recording because Lizzie recorded that. But there was some crackling.
What? In your pre-show?
The pre-show tease. The pre-show tease.
But other than
it wasn't your voice, it was the mic.
It was the mic, it wasn't you.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, really good job going with all of your tech issues. The other thing that was weird about the weather segment was that our software crashed before the show, as it does. So your graphics, which should have been behind you, came up in front of you. It looked clean to air. It just looked like you made full screen graphics, but I know it's not what you were expecting, so thank you for going with it. But yeah, the live shot looked really good today. The live Q&A added a lot. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah,
our volunteers
live
did a
really
great
adds
job,
to a
so-
show.
Yeah, so kudos to the producer, and y'all killed it as per usual. So, yay!
And you guys killed it. I mean, you deserve huge applause. So let's hand it over to our producer. Share some insights from your first time producing.
It was hard to end up floating poor Noah's piece. I felt really bad about that.
Yeah,
but,
she really struggled with it, but we were heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to say, like, thanks to everyone in the newsroom, like, for helping each other. I just think we continue to get better and better at that. If someone, you know, finishes a package early, we're just kind of like, okay, well, what can we do to help you? If we see, like, a frenzy's going on, it really helps out. I couldn't have done what I did today without the help from quite a few of you guys in here. Savannah helped a lot at the end with the weather. Jules did, you know, her weather graphic that she posted on there and made it full. Elizabeth looked over my script a little bit just when I was in the midst of having to help Jackson because he was still editing his package. So it was a really big team effort. It wasn't just a me thing. So I appreciate you guys for making my vision come to life and just being patient with me and talking with me and communicating with me what your packages look like so I can really make sure we time them out correctly. So great job to you too, Lizzie. You put everything together into a great vision. And I had a lot of fun watching all of you guys on air. You guys were wonderful. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you to you guys. And I did have a lot of fun. I was actually really nervous coming into this just because I'd never really done it before, and I'm really bad at making decisions. So
you and everybody else.
Yeah, I'm really indecisive. Who would have guessed? But it was great. I had a lot of fun. So yeah.
Should we hear from the digital peeps? Oh, okay. Sorry, I stole your mic.
And then Jackson, you're live. Yeah, I know you're telling me about all the packages, but you're live. You're live.
It was amazing. It added so much to our show. We had the urgency, we had the top story. I was just seeing now that it's projected to be a catastrophic storm, category 4. So we were right on the mark, starting with a compelling live shot, you know, with... yeah. Pardon? Who? We are not having class? Oh, Coney County.
Which is like 20 minutes from us.
Yeah. So we are right on the mark today. Yeah. Oh, wow. Now don't cry. Which means hopefully we don't lose power forever and water, and because I'm not ready. I should heed our own tips.
Okay, Jules, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, because it all ended up looking really good, and I think that's what matters most. And it all came in before 5, so that's what matters. Thank you so much to everyone who contributed to Digital's stuff today. All of your things looked great. Keisha, really appreciated you taking the extra effort to edit a whole mini package for socials. It looked great. Colin, the photos you got looked really good. Lizzie, your Grady Daily was amazing. Nigel, your sports report was really cool. Happy that we could have that. Everyone, I was just really happy with, and I thought we had really good coverage. And Ethan, you were an amazing DC. Would not have wanted to work with anyone else, except maybe Faith, who I worked with last time. So, do you want to say anything?
I got nothing to say. I really just, I enjoyed the stress-free week, and it was great. But it was great. I don't really have anything to say about what I did today, but I have been thinking every Monday and Wednesday when we sit and watch our show, and like you sit in the newsroom around 4:30, 4 o'clock, whatever. It feels legit. Like I don't know what Professor V would say, but I feel like we're killing it.
I said it.
Yeah,
I didn't use these words, but every day you impress me with conquering a new peak of things. Yeah. And I hope you understand why I pushed so much for the weather. I knew it was very hard on Jackson, on Lizzie as well, because I turned around all your ideas, but that's what happens. I hope you see that as a teachable moment. That's what happens in the real world. People's, unfortunately, also because of all this, we didn't have time for your content, but this is exactly what happens. I don't think I've told you that story, but once I had an interview scheduled with a king, and then we had the bombings before you were born in East Africa, the U.S. embassies, more than 200 people died in East Africa, and Americans as well. The embassies were bombed, and we went live, for 6 hours nonstop. And producer said, "You've got to just call the media people of the king and cancel him. We can't have that interview when we have such a tragedy and developing story." So I called quickly and I canceled the king, and they were okay. But that's what happens. Even kings get canceled, and because so King Noah. So just to give you an example of, it's tough, it's tough, but that's what happens. And so you got a taste, I think, of a newsroom and how things work, or, you have to pivot really quickly. And so I'll let you go early if anybody else wants to talk. Jackson.
Before me, Savannah was writing stuff for me. I think Jules made me a graphic, so definitely a team effort. I think the tech team did a really good job as well, scrambling with stuff on the fly. So just thanks to everybody, and also need to apologize for all my elements coming in super late and putting that stress on the team. But thank y'all for clutching up for me. So.
Well, you had 2 interviews to do, so we had a lot on you to do all of a sudden when you'd planned a totally different story. So, guys. Great teamwork. You should be proud of yourself. If anybody else wants to say something, yes, Lizzie.
Then to you, Nigel. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'll make it quick, but this is my first time ever anchoring. I had a lot of fun with it. I appreciate everyone who worked with me. Sarah, Jules, you guys were awesome. And you too, Ethan. Ethan helped a lot, too, with the Grady Daily, which I really appreciate. Honestly, a lot of the creativity goes to him there. If you guys watched it, it was he basically dumped water on my head, and I was holding
I will watch it, yes.
That was cool.
Thank you.
I won't take credit for that. That was him. So, had a lot of fun with you guys, and sorry for not knowing what I'm doing and kind of maybe being a little late with the Grady Daily specifically, but it was a lot of fun. Definitely, just some tips. Just whatever you do, don't look at yourself down there, on the screen. I was resisting every urge to look at myself, but you just have to read it. If you just take it one word at a time, like a cursor kind of playing through a video, you'll be fine. So a lot of fun, and the other anchors did a really great job. I was saying
lots of talent.
Yeah,
the 2 of you are just amazing talent. Yeah.
I just want to say shout out Julia, because I was supposed to be DP today and we switched, and so none of this would happen if it wasn't for Julia letting me switch, because I like sports and I didn't want to do DP. Not that anything's bad with DP, but I just want to say, it was a really chill, it was really cool. I didn't have to stress as much, like Ethan said, so anchoring is pretty fun. I guess any tips? Sports is probably the chillest thing ever. I got to say guys and what's up. I didn't have to worry about if everything I said was whatever. I could literally just say stuff. So have fun with, I didn't have to does this sound correct or whatever. So if you do sports, have fun with it. It's really fun. Honestly, that was one of the funnest things, and I'm probably gonna throw that up on LinkedIn.
And it showed on it. I'm just listening to your voices, the 2 of you. My God, you've got such voices. They're just oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's competition for sure. There's no
And you've got a nice deep voice as well.
Nah, he's got it.
And MMJ's too. Lots of creativity, beautiful B-roll. I don't have time to go through everybody's work, but I will be watching it again. Very, very high quality stuff, professional stuff, and you should all be very proud of yourselves. Yeah.
And I have one more thing, what helped me a lot today going into this,
I mean, I think we've said this before, but really look at your like pitch sheet the night before. Like people put it in by 8, so you do have a lot of time to really like come in with the plan, what stories you kind of want to think you want to have in certain blocks, and then it's good to think about like your end story of a block and your top story of a block to think about like how you really want to transition that, because that's like really solely what you're writing besides like the pre-tease and like kind of helping people write their leads. But a lot of people end up writing their leads, so you have the most time to be creative like with those teases and starting out and having fun with those live shots. So like that's why we got to do 2 live shots literally back to back. Like Tori and I were talking about this all morning. She was really flexible with me. I was like, hey, I actually want you there. And then I was like, actually I don't. It's going to rain. I really don't want you an hour away with a live person. It just didn't really work out, and I really liked the Q&A a lot better. I feel like it added a lot more dimension to it. So I think just like, even as an MMJ, just like be willing to do whatever the producer or the team asks, just because I think the willingness of doing stuff really helps out a lot. I know sometimes things aren't always feasible, but like if you can get compromised to find that middle ground, like it's gonna help both of you guys out. So be organized as much as you can. I think I can be a little too organized because I'm a really type A person, so I think that helped me a lot like in this role today. So definitely take notes, talk out things out loud, think about how it flows to yourself and see if that's a show that you would want to watch. So yeah.
And we definitely want to watch the show. I want to watch it. I'm going to watch it again, just enjoy all the great work that you guys did. And again, I apologize with getting the wrong names and stuff. I know who you are. It's just been a long day, and sometimes you just and sometimes you just yeah, but I love you and I know who you are. Yeah. Anybody else wants to share? And Christian, thank you. That came together very well. I'm sorry I was hard on you, but I had to make sure that we got that legislature and everything that we were claiming. I thought the stand-up worked very good, very creative, and very well put together. But I gave him the hardest time today. Was very indecisive. Speaking of indecision, but I'm glad that we decided it, and you worked with me on convincing me. So thank you. Very well done. Very timely piece also. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to give you guys time to talk about your sojo.
It's going. It's okay.
Okay.